we're very committed to inclusive education. So we work with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare on promoting these issues through infrastructure development, teacher training, curriculum development. With Kosovo, we're developing a new curriculum which is very much designed for inclusion. And I think the government have made some good steps in terms of ensuring schools are wheelchair accessible, the new schools they're building. And as EU, we've invested a lot in the school building programme. So all schools that we build, the ground floor is wheelchair accessible and has a wheelchair accessible toilet. But there are soft support measures that we can provide also through technical assistance. Kosovo, as they have an EU perspective, they are interested to listen to us and see how they can improve. So through the EU progress report on Kosovo, we highlight areas where they're deficient in respecting disability rights. And in that sense, they feel under some pressure to make some improvements. It is to do with stigma attached to disability or perceived stigma. So families will sometimes hide a child with severe disabilities. Within rural areas in particular, it can be a difficulty. But there are issues around transportation, certainly for rural areas, and in Kosovo where you have quite mountainous areas as well. It can be very difficult for children to access school. In Kosovo also, in towns and urban areas, there's a big problem of school overcrowding, and there's a shift system. So teachers find that they're overwhelmed with a classroom of 40 children, and for children with disabilities to attend, there are no assistant teachers to support them in giving the extra support that these children will need. In those situations, sometimes the other students in the class will assist, or the parents will attend. Normally the mother will attend. There are resource constraints for ensuring that deaf children and blind children can be properly accommodated within regular school at the moment. So the number of sign language interpreters is very small in Kosovo, and there's a danger that if the children go in immediately without these support structures, that they will have, well, a lesser education. But the efforts should be there also to improve the quality of special needs school at the moment, but allow for some access to some mainstream schools in order that the social participation of children can be encouraged. Because the perception at the moment is, certainly for deaf people, is that they have no capacity to work, and they're particularly excluded, I would say. But if we start at the school level, certainly preschool through primary school, children then become accustomed to diversity and difference, then it makes it easier. And also the perception of the community in Kosovo that people with certain disabilities are not able to work will disappear, hopefully. It just takes time to bring that about. As much as the funding is important, it's a lot to do with the political messages we send, actually. I would say that the two work together, and I work in cooperation linked with EPA funding support, but I work directly together with my political colleagues in the political section, and often the political section can be much more influential than the cooperations funding side because of the political messages and policy messages they send.